Hi, this is Izabel Florence, and you are listening to YouRLight podcast, a safe space where we talk about mental health and well-being. Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the influence that your space has over your mental health. Before I left London, I had to give my flat back to my landlord, and I wanted my deposit back. So we made sure that we fixed everything that was kind of broken in the flat or didn't look very good, and we cleaned it very, very well. After we fixed all these little things and we cleaned the flat really, really well, my boyfriend turned to me and he said, it's so interesting that we don't give ourselves the value to keep the space the way that we would show it to others, to ourselves, right? When we have guests come over, we clean the house. We make sure that everything is tidy, that everything looks nice. If we have to give a flat back to a landlord and we really want the deposit, you make sure that you fix everything. You take the time. And so why are we not taking the time on our day-to-day to keep our space as special, as well taken care of? It's almost a reflection of our care for ourselves, the care that we take to our space. When you wake up in the morning and you make your bed, there is a subconscious awareness of the care that you are taking for yourself, because your space is a reflection of yourself. So it took me a while, but now I understand how important it is for my mental health, for my peace, calm and quiet mind, to have a space that reflects how I want to feel inside. So today we're going to start talking about the ways that we can change the space to change ourselves, change the outside to change within. I think the first step is to recognize that it is a reflection of yourself and that you deserve a space that is magnificent. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. It doesn't matter how expensive the things in your space are. It matters how you feel about it. It matters how much of a priority you make to keep that space special for yourself. And that will mean different things for different people, right? For me, it's a space that is uncluttered, that has calming colors and lighting and all of this. But for you, it might be that you really want color, that reflects who you are within. And that's beautiful. For someone else, it might mean that it looks cluttered or messy from the outside, but that's how they want their space, that they want a lot of things on the walls and they want a little trinkets everywhere, you know. It's going to look different to everyone, but I want you to take some time to look around and to reflect. Is this reflecting my inner self? So let's talk about the physicality of the environment and the practical things that we know have a good impact on our mental health. The first thing is light, and lighting is really influential in our ability to have a good night's sleep. And by now we know that sleep is very, very important for well-being and longevity. So I want you to take into consideration this, and I want you to open your space for as much natural light as possible. If you have really dark curtains, it makes a huge difference to just change them to white curtains. Try to keep your shutters open. Try to wake up with the natural light if you can. And as the day progresses and the evening arrives, lower down the amount of lighting that you are using in your home. Turn off the devices that emit blue light, such as a TV, and maybe light up a candle. Maybe only use a lamp light when you have dinner. It makes a huge difference because it starts to tell your body that you are arriving into a moment of rest. It makes a huge difference on your sleep, and I have felt that difference by changing the way that I use my lighting in my home. See it as a tool that you can use for yourself. I would suggest that if you're using candles in your home, that you use natural candles. This is very important because the fumes can really influence you. So you want to look for a non-toxic candle without synthetic fragrances or chemical binders. Candles are a really special tool that you can use in your life. It's something that I use sometimes when I want to meditate and I'm finding difficult to focus, as I will light a candle and I will do candle gazing meditation. Candles transform the mood of a space so beautifully. It's something that I forget now and again, and then I go back to it and I'm like, wow, I forgot how amazing it is to be able to use something that's quite simple to transform my space so much. It romanticizes your life in a really beautiful way. So we've spoken about light. Let's now talk about noise. Noise pollution also has a huge impact in our mental health and well-being. When I was living in London, there was a lot of times where I would turn on nature noises and just listen to them. They could drown out the noises of the city sometimes, and it made a huge difference in my state of self and my state of mind, how calm I felt, how peaceful I felt. It's so quickly the change that you can feel in your body and your heart rate when you connect to more natural noises in your life. So I would suggest investing in a good sound system. It makes a huge difference. And if you want to spend a Sunday listening to relaxing jazz, or if you want to use white noise when you're feeling stressed or anxious, if you want to spend some time listening to the birds even though you're in the middle of a city, it makes a huge difference, the sounds that you use in your home. Be aware of the lyrics that you are singing in whatever songs you put on. Be aware of the beats. Use the music to influence your mindset. If you're lacking energy, you can put a really good energizing song and you can feel the difference very quickly. So sound is another thing that you can use in your home to your advantage. Another incredible thing that I want you to invest is plants. And they're not very expensive. If you learn how to propagate your plants, you can very quickly create a sanctuary of nature within your home that it's very special for your mental health and well-being. Especially when you understand the connection of your soul, of your energy with everything around you. Nature has been proven to be one of the best things for our mental health, and growing something yourself is very satisfying, very rewarding. Taking care of something is very rewarding. I would say they are one of the most beautiful things you can have in your home. Plants are a lot better than flowers. I know that flowers are very beautiful and their smell is incredible, but they don't last. And it's something that you have to replace, and it's sad to look at a flower when it's dead. So I don't buy flowers. But plants can give you the same satisfaction that a beautiful rose can. So I would suggest that you invest some time and money on some beautiful plants. If you don't know how to take care of them, there's a few of them that are very easy to keep alive. My first plant was a snake plant, and she lived for a very long time till I had to move away and I gave her away. But it's really special to be able to take care of something. And I would name my plants. It almost humanizes them in a way, and it's really sweet. There's been studies on how plants react to music and to positive affirmations, and there's scientific proof that they do respond to these things. So it's a being, and it's beautiful to have beings in your home that you can share your life with. Now let's talk about the basics of keeping a space well maintained. I would say the most important thing is having a place for everything. That makes a massive difference. If you have a place for everything and you know where it goes, you're not gonna throw it somewhere else and then forget about it. And then at the end of the week, find yourself in a home that's just cluttered and messy. I do something that if it takes me less than a minute to put it away, when I'm done with something, I put it away. So if I get home and I'm wearing a jacket, instead of throwing it on the floor or on a chair, it takes me less than a minute to put it in the wardrobe. So I'm going to hang it up. It makes sense. I'm saving time for the future Izabel. And she gets very grateful with the past Izabel that put everything away when I had to. Another thing is when you are doing things, you can organize as you go. So, for example, in the morning when I'm making my coffee, I'm taking the things out of the dishwasher. And it makes a huge difference because it takes me very little time. And it's time that I would have spent standing around waiting for something that would have been wasted. I don't want to waste my time. My time is precious and my home is precious. So why not use my time to keep my home well tended to? Another thing that's really helpful for keeping a space tidy and looking great is baskets and containers. We have seen the craziness that has happened on the internet with Pinterest and the people that have crazy amounts of bins and stackable shelves in their fridge. I don't mean that. I don't mean having a whole freezer filled with different types of ice. If you know, you know. But I mean having a basket here, a plate there, a drawer over there that you know are kind of throw everything spaces. And once they get cluttered, then you can organize all of that. But if you really don't have the time and you don't know where you want to put something, it's better to just put it away and have your space look tidy than to keep it everywhere, right? Again, it goes back to having a space for everything. If you know where it goes, you don't have to think about it when you're putting away or when you're looking for it. You're not going to lose anything as well. But having baskets, having boxes that are specific for something, even if that specificity is things that I don't have time to think about where they go and I put it there, it's better than just throwing things everywhere. And at the end of the week, you can go through the basket and put things away, you know? I'm saying this because I know what works for me. And for me, looking at a space that reflects to me calm energy is the most important part. It doesn't matter if I have a cupboard or a drawer or one basket that's cluttered and messy. It's in there. I'm not going to be looking at it every day. And that makes a huge difference. It makes me feel like I have everything together, even if I don't. I love jars. And that can become a problem because I keep wanting to keep every jar that we use or that we buy as a container for something else. But it means that I always have a way to storage things that might get messy. Like little screws from different things, or, you know, my beans once I open a can, or any dry foods, or cables from different things. I have a jar for the coins that I collect, and they just end up in every drawer, in every surface if I don't have one space to put them in. And so there's a jar for the coins. Another major thing to consider is having less stuff. This is a huge game changer for keeping your home organized and keeping your home a space that you really enjoy and love. I think having less things, but only having things that you really appreciate, really love, and really enjoy using and having makes a massive difference. You don't need 3 carrot peelers. You don't need 20 plates if you don't throw 20 people dinner parties. I don't think you do. But if you do, then own 20 plates. But if you don't, then don't. Look at your life and consider what are the things that I use mostly. And what I do is I will have a box of things to maybe give away. If I've not used something for a really long time, I'll put it in the box. It doesn't mean that I'm giving it away. I'm putting it in the box. If after 2-3 months I haven't used anything in that box, I give it away. Life is changeable. We are changing. It is natural for the things in our home to also be recycling and repurposed and changed. You can also try a rule of 1 in, 1 out. If you buy something new, you have to give something away. The less things you have in your home, the less cluttered it will be. And the more satisfactory it will be to live in your home. Opt for having one thing for each purpose. If you have 5 pans that do the exact same thing, you don't need the 5 of them. You probably just need 1, maybe 2 if I'm pushing it. And if you look at every item in your home and make sure you only have 1 thing for each purpose, you're gonna feel like you have more space. More space to be, more space to breathe, more space to think. The outside reflects the inside, and the inside reflects what is happening outside of you. So you are deeply influenced by your surroundings. I'm going to stop it here today. There's a lot more to talk about, so we're going to come back to this next week. This week, I want you to look around. Take a moment to reflect on how your space is influencing you and how you are influencing your space. How can you make that relationship healthier? How can you give your space the care that you deserve? I love you very much, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. All the links are written down on the show notes, as well as resources for anyone struggling with their mental health. Don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when we release new episodes. Also, feel free to share our podcast with your friends and family. And if you'd like to get involved, explore our content, or support our work, visit our website www.yourlight.earth. That's yourlight.earth. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at you.r.light. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.